Okay, so on our shifter on our Studebaker truck here, all I did was take a piece of 2x4 1/4-inch tubing. I cut this little shape into it and then just cut the edges off and folded this over. That's my bracket to hold the shifter in place from the bottom. And all I did was cut a hole in the top there, and then this would be my throw. So that's quite significant. I'm just about hitting the dash here now. What I'm gonna do is take the one with the foot peg, just because it's kind of neat. I'm gonna trim the edges so that we'll have it nice and neat on either side, and then I'll bolt this one on the other side like that for show, and it'll kind of keep it from wiggling. It'll be able to slide in between the two rails, and then we'll make a bracket in front and the back to hold it in place. This hole was a factory hole. I made this plate to just sit on top, but I slotted this hole so I'm able to change the orientation of it just slightly in case the detents don't line up with the detents in the transmission. We'll bolt that together, and then we'll see where our 2-inch stroke ends up, probably down here somewhere. We'll cut her off and connect the cable. Okay, so that's a piece of 2x4 cut with the angles removed on this side, so we've got full swing. This swing wasn't enough, so I had to lengthen that and go beside the transmission tailstock. Then on this side, we've got those 2 angle pieces that I cut off are now the brackets to hold the front of the sawtooth, and then just a piece welded at the bottom here with holes drilled through, and that is how the transmission shifter works. Right? Look at that, see? Stuck, lift. Now, and that magically will line up with all the gears on the trans, right? We'll throw that in the truck. I got the adjusting bolts here, nuts for the bracket. I made this bracket for the trans, so that's good to go. That will just bolt in and hold the other end. The other end just has this folded over, which will go in the eyelet on the transmission. We'll put a nut on either side. That should be able to hold that. And I just need to make a bracket to hold this in place for this. So, here we go. So easy, right? It's all gonna fit first time. It's gonna bind or hit. That's pretty sick, actually. I never know how far to go, what he wants, what the customer wants. I'm still not sure if it's going to be a rat rod or like a shiny paint vehicle or what he's going for. I don't know. For now, that works good to me. Let's go check out the bottom half. Okay, let's take a look-see underneath the truck here. Let's take a little gander here. It's got a little holder there to hold it up off the drive shaft. Another bracket there that's holding that in place. There it is, all adjustable. So there's park. That is without lowering. That's reverse, neutral, drive. I think it slides past just a hair. I might have to grind a touch off of that one, but we'll see when we get it running. I don't think it'll hurt anything because it's like that's the amount of play I have between the 2 gears. So that's reverse, there's drive, and that's my play, and there it drops. I should be alright. And then he still has low if he wants it. But that's as far as I'm gonna get without bashing my knuckles up against there. Maybe could have gone another inch, but at the end of the day he's gonna be driving somewhere around there. And then the steering wheel, nice big steering wheel here. I guess we can cut this off, eh? Okay, so to keep the transmission cool, we got this transmission cooler, which will mount on the frame rail somewhere because we got no more room up front. And I see one of my transmissions that I pulled out of one of the trucks. I think all these transmissions are pooched. Probably because they're Dodge transmissions. So we'll pull this line out and we'll make that work. It's got the nice sensor already built in, so basically just on off, and that'll turn the fans on. I put this plate up on here on an angle. I'll put the other tabs right here, and then the cooler will sit kind of on an angle. Should get enough airflow, kind of protected by the tank. And then the lines here, we've got these running through the same loop as the shifter cable, and we're good to go. I had to drop the tank to weld that up, just in case you keyboard warriors think something else. That's why stuff takes so long. So I put the exhaust on, just from some stuff that I had laying around, just to get him going. He wanted to have it quiet for moving in and out of the paint shop, so that goes underneath the cab and comes out, dumps in front of the back axle. Now I did that because I need to put my battery somewhere. We don't really have any room under the hood. The original idea is that there's ductwork or something that goes in behind here. And he wants to keep the glove box. So for RT Baker, we put the battery right here. Because of the wiper motor and assembly and stuff, he's gonna have working wipers. We need to put the battery on the inside. So originally we were going to do it in the back seat, but there's no room back there. It ends up right where the feet is, because there's a cross member for the frame right about here, and then there's a floor brace behind that. So we're going to dig right underneath the passenger seat. We're going to sink this down in and then be able to get at the battery from the top. So we'll have to cover it up nice, put a little box on there, and then we'll have to put the frame rail seats above it. So there's a nice brace down on the frame already. The battery can sit on that, so we'll do that. We'll run some cables to it. We've got it moving and running, and it won't be so bad with the exhaust on it now. I don't think I'm gonna do the brakes. I'm leery about the brakes. I think we gotta figure out a better system than mounting the old Studebaker pedal to a Hydro Boost from a GM on a '89 Dodge. We gotta figure something out. I'm not comfortable doing it, so we'll figure that out. Right now, I'm gonna change the battery in my light, and we're gonna drop this down. So here we go. Okay, so it's an old truck and there's a lot of rust on the floor. It's pretty solid. The only spot that there isn't any rust, is actually in really good shape, is right here. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Perfect. I don't think we even need to bolt that down. Nice. So we found this at Toothley's in the yard there a long time ago. I'm like, neat little Craftsman Toolbox. Thanks WG Ross. But I think what I'm gonna do is cut it off right at the hinge. I'll just rivet the hinge onto the floor, and then I think the height is there. 2 inches. I have 2 inches, but that's cutting it pretty close. All right, I'm gonna give myself another 1.75 inches all the way along the bottom, and then I'll just stick it in the brake, fold it over. He's got working hinges, and then we can pop rivet it down and kind of seal it off. I know what you guys are thinking. Why don't you just drop the whole box in there? Well, like I said, it's tight for space, and this is a lot longer than the battery is, so the drive shaft's here. The way the step goes in on the Studebaker's on this side. So on top of that, it's extremely rusty and pretty well ready to fall out. So this is for sale. Head over to eBay if you want to buy this. It's fun. You're gonna cut yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna use I can store parts in that.
Lunchbox.
Going in mid.
And unfortunately, the eBay item has sold. You've missed it. But look at similar items. Junk to build junk on other junk. This is like entertaining because I know all of you guys are like, he's gonna cut himself! He's gonna hurt himself!
Your hands are already like leather gloves anyway.
I know. 0 lost days of work in the last, I don't remember when the last time I've never lost a full day's worth of work because of an injury, other than a hernia. I've had 3 hernias. because I tried too hard. But there's been a couple visits for stitches, but I've never lost a full day of work. First one was I lifted a cow with my dad off of the barn. That was dumb.
Yep.
So a cow, we had tie stalls, so we had to drag the cow off the stall and then roll her over every day until she was able to get back up again. So me and my dad with pulleys and ropes, we pulled I don't know how much does a cow weigh? Anyway, pulled her off. So that was the first one. That's when I was 14. And then when I grew 6 inches in 6 months, and then like everything stretched and the rope came off. So I had it done again on my 16th birthday. I remember them singing happy birthday to me. And then I was 28 and the other side went, I think I got my lawnmower stuck and I picked the lawnmower up and moved it, and that was a bad idea. The last time though, they went laparoscopic. You go into the doctor, you say, I'm self-employed and I can't miss too many days of work. To do laparoscopic, 100 times better than the surgery. In and out in 12 minutes. I think the guy did it in 12 minutes, and I did a service call on my service truck, I think 4 days after. Yeah.
So they like use a stapler or something?
No, they go in just under the belly button.
Yeah.
And then poke around in there.
Yeah. Edward Scissorhands you.
Wonderful. And we'll call that done. I know you're gonna say I should have folded it on the inside, but the battery's tight this way, not this way. But there's gonna be carpet around it anyway. Well, that's the plan. But seam sealer on the outside. I'm just gonna put a couple screws in here, just so he can remove it. Only because I don't know how big his seat rails are. If he has to drop it down or he doesn't like this idea, he can always take it out after. I still got to build a box for the inside, run some cables, and then we're driving it out of the shop. It's leaving. It's gone. Okay, so the guy lives just across town there, so I think we're just gonna drop the truck off. It's not too busy out right now. Not too much salt on the roads, so it should be okay. On second thought, better call Tuesday for a tow. Okay, so that's the last of this truck for now. I don't know when we'll see it again. It's heading off to paint. For real this time, it's out of the shop. I don't have any more time to spend on this. We've got to keep moving on. Now, the way we built this, it's not the way maybe you or I would do it, but it's the way the customer wanted it, and to get paid, I do what he tells me to do. Not everybody has a massive budget to be able to spend on a truck like this. So we got it running, we got it moving. It's out the shop. We're gonna be jumping back on other projects. GTO will be back as soon as this is gone, and that's kind of the polar opposite of this build, and we're okay with that. We don't mind doing a little bit of everything, but it's time to go back on some other stuff. So here we go.